Yeah, there's this choreography that we see when these killings happen that seems almost rote at this point. You can almost expect to know what's going to happen. There's going to be a press conference. There's going to be this call for calm and patience. There's going to be a video release that gets put on social media, and people have to watch someone dying in front of them, being killed by an agent of the state. We saw this with George Floyd as he died, and it happened on camera, and it went viral, and there are protests, and there's the counter protests, and the police tend to crack down on it. It has become almost like a choreography that we see happen over and over and over again. And it is re-traumatizing. It does remind Black Americans how fraught it is to live in this country, how dangerous it can be, and how someone who's 25 years old, unarmed, running away from the police can be gunned down by dozens and dozens of bullets. This is just another instance of that kind of state force being used against another Black American.
I mean, Robert, one of the reasons I wanted to talk to Toulouse is because you've looked at this all in the context of George Floyd's death, the fact that it really did spark this global movement. You have all these heightened calls for racial justice, and yet here's where we find ourselves 2 years later, not only seeing similar acts of police brutality, but also seeing, as Toulouse referenced, sort of this choreography that at this point seems rote.
We have to be clear about one thing before we even get started with that, which is the presence of racism in America for Black and white and everyone makes us sick. It does something that deletes our spirit. Now, when we did our book, what we found was that with police departments, you have to ask questions about the practices. You have to ask questions about how people are trained. We don't know enough about how the Akron Police Department carries itself. But what we do know is that we live in a society that disproportionately attacks Black people, where police treat them unfairly, and that little is being done about it. The legacy of George Floyd is to think about how we treat each other and looking for the nuances and asking police, not just police, but every institution in America, whether it's doing enough to prevent these horrifying images from happening. And clearly, with this example, we're seeing that not enough has been done.
I mean, Toulouse, to that point, a police department in Michigan recently called out for using images of Black men in their target practice. What does that tell you about the work there is still left to do?
There is a lot of work that still needs to be done. These stereotypes continue to persist. When we wrote about George Floyd, he was aware of these stereotypes. He often feared during the course of his life being killed by police. He said police were essentially just waiting for him to make a mistake so that they can take advantage of that. And he was someone who always went into a room knowing that his size, knowing that his skin color made him a threat in the eyes of many people. And that was something that millions of Black Americans deal with. And when we see police officers using these stereotypes for target practice and for training, it shows that that is part of the bias, part of the systemic racism that's part of our system that so many people took to the streets to try to march against. But it is an ongoing and long struggle. It is something that, as we wrote about in the book, continues in the aftermath of George Floyd's death and in the aftermath of these other deaths that we're seeing. It's an ongoing struggle that is a part of our country's history and is going to have to be part of our future as well.